Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So, on a recent video, it was discussed that it's absolutely possible to live on £2,000 a month. Now, whilst I appreciate fully that there are people out there that have to go without and make do on less than £2,000 a month, probably pensioners included, I don't consider that to be living. So let's work it out. If you're on the national living wage and you're working 37.5 hours a week, 52 weeks of the year, it's about 21,000-ish pounds that you get. So out of that £21,000, we'll work that out into, say, annual costs. So you've got your rent. So your rent's going to be your biggest one. Now let's lowball it. We know that the average UK rent is £1,271 a month. That's a big number. But let's lowball it down to 1,000. So let's just say we've got 21 grand starting figure. So we've just lost £12,000 straight away. Council tax. Now I know that my council tax is 2,400 a year. So let's put that figure in. So 2,400. So we're already up to £14,400. That's a fair chunk of that 21 grand gone already. In fact, it only leaves £7,000 left. Now, a third of that is going to go on your energy. So my energy bills, just gas and electric, £280 a month. So let's lowball that. Let's lowball it down to 250. So let's say it's just 250 a month. So that's 3 grand. And that's going to leave £4,000. Your water bill, £500. That leaves you £3,500. Let's just say that you need to run a vehicle without even considering the cost of the vehicle or repairing the vehicle, which an average vehicle is going to be around £1,000 to £1,200 a year for servicing, MOT and repairs. So let's just say fuel. My fuel when I had a diesel was 150 a month to get to work, essential. Let's lowball that down to 100. So of the £3,000 we've got left, 1,200's just gone straight away. So that's going to leave us with literally £1,800. Now, of that remaining £1,800, we've not fed ourselves. Who'd have thought it? So let's lowball the food. Now, I know what I spend the week on shopping, and I know I go out multiple times and I make savings. Let's just say for the average family, if you're going great guns, if you're the thriftiest shopper in the world, and you've got all the time in the world to food prep and actually plan meals and be cost efficient, let's say that you are a miracle mum and you can feed a family for £200 a month, £50 a week. Now, I'm pretty sure that you can't feed a family for that, not with proper nutritionally dense meals. You can probably give them beans on toast and some spam 3 times a day. But let's just say £50 a week, £200 a month. So that's going to be £2,400 a year. So already we're down. Already we're minus £600. And then you've got things like, let's just say you need broadband or fibre. You need some kind of interaction with the outside world. You might do a little bit of your work from home. You need the bloody internet. So that's going to cost you £20 a month, say, with a really budget provider, probably more. I mean, mine's about £30 a month. Your mobile phone bill, even if you're on the most basic SIM-only thing, SIM-only minutes and megabytes, it's about £10. So that's another £120 a year. Many people pay a lot more. So already we're about £1,000 down, and we've still not considered things like TV license, things like Netflix. So whilst I admire anybody's ability, if they're on their own and they've not got kids, and we didn't even look at the cost of children, the cost of birthdays, Christmas, school uniforms, all that other crap that mounts up that's essential but eats into your income. Let's not forget child support. What if, you're that guy that's got a kid elsewhere that you have to pay for? That eats into your income. These are all still costs, and they're knocking us into minus numbers massively. So whilst I admire anybody's ability to live or say they can live on £2,000 a month, I would contest that and say that if you're single and you've got no kids and you don't drink and you don't smoke, which I don't, by the way, I haven't for years, that you're not living for £2,000 a month, that you're surviving, that you're getting by. And although, yes, that's admirable, I can't do that. I aspire to have more, and to be better and do better. I can't sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice to eke my way through a year living on £2,000 a month. It does not compute. The math doesn't math. Even with the living wage of £28,000 a year, now that would just leave you with a bit of money left over, perhaps to have a family holiday, to get your kids something nice for Christmas and birthdays. You might have about £2,000 left over for the entire year, to be able to save, to be able to invest. Now, £28,000, that sounds like it should be a lot of money. It sounds like you should get a lot more for it, but you don't, because of the cost of living, because of rip-off Britain, because of rip-off providers. Everything eats into that income. I mean, Christ, we put money into savings accounts, and you get taxed on your savings. Inflation basically kills all of your interest, and then the government come along and tax you on your interest anyway. So it's mental. It's not sustainable. And as I said, although I admire anybody's ability to try to live on less than £2,000, pensioners included, because they have to if that's their only income. Realistically, if you've got a family, it's not possible. It's not doable. It really isn't. And it might be easier if you live perhaps in the Midlands, or you live in the Northeast, where costs of rent or property are a little bit lower, but food still costs the same. Netflix still costs the same. That doesn't care where you live. The only thing that changes due to geography really is a very small amount of what you pay in terms of rent and what you pay in terms of council tax. But then also that's probably going to impact on the amount you actually earn. So you can't tell me that. I mean, I've got friends that live in Doncaster, for example. I think it's a place called Mexborough, somewhere up there. You can't tell me that somebody in Mexborough paying £600 a month rent, which is half the UK norm, is going to be on a £60,000 a year job in that area paying that rent, because that, again, it just does not compute. So it's all relative. It's a bit of a shit show, to be honest. Pardon my French. And I challenge anybody to be able to actually live, not survive, to have a life on £2,000 a month. As soon as you throw a child into the mix, that goes right out the window. Right out the window. I get emails from people all the time. I get inboxes. I get messages on my other socials from people all the time that are struggling. Families that have got two working parents that are struggling to live. And these are people that are already budgeting. They're already making cuts in their lifestyle, in their children's quality of life to try and get by, and they're still struggling. So, it may be a different story out there for the person that commented. And, if that's true, what you said, then I absolutely applaud that. I really do. And I can only hope that you're altruistic enough to tell everybody else how you did it, But if you want any kind of life and not just an existence, the reality is that £2,000 a month doesn't cut it. And in Devon, where I am, a lot of jobs, they pay £21,000 a year. A good job in Devon, a good job is considered to be about 25 or 30, so around the average for the UK. But the cost of living is very high. So, it's a vicious circle. But anyway, look, let me know in the comments. I'm keen to find out if you can live on £2,000 a month in the UK in 2025. Let me know. Let's fire it up. Let's see what people are getting by with, and see if people are on more than that and still struggling like I was. Anyway, food for thought. So there'll be another video here. Maybe check it out. That'd be fantastic. And like, follow, subscribe. Goldman. Peace out.